ABC's The Bachelorette.
Oh, hello! I didn't see you there. My name's Jason Rutledge, I'll be your host, and now it's time to meet our lucky bachelorette.
Raise the taxes! DP! Oh, I'm so sorry, that just runs in my family. My name is Rachel Notley. I'm the first female premier of Alberta and the leader of the NDP party. I'm looking for a man who shares the same political values as I do and enjoys long walks to the parliament.
Now it's time to meet the lucky bachelors.
Money maker like somebody about to pay ya. I see you on my radar, don't you act like you afraid of shit.
You know I got I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I play the shots. I call the calls. We in this. It's going. Patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty. 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 My music's so loud. I'm swinging. They hoping that they gon' catch me riding dirty. Tryna catch me riding dirty. Tryna catch me riding dirty. Tryna catch me riding. I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on.
How'd you do in your election, buddy?
Oh wow, that's how.
Sorry,
yeah. What are you guys doing?
Hi. I'm the Prime Minister. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Well, thank you.
Coming out late.
Hi.
Franklin D. Roosevelt?
Hi.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh, wow.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Adam Smith, have you read my book?
Oh, no, I haven't actually.
You should.
It's garbage.
Let's all go in.
Welcome inside.
Okay.
Hi there, Bachelor number one. I'm Rachel Notley,
Nice to
the
meet you.
Premier of Alberta.
I'm the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
Oh, so I was just wondering, what are your views on nationalization?
On nationalization, as in corporations and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that we need to have a country that supports nationalized companies for those that privatized owners can't actually benefit from. Does that make sense? Like healthcare or other corporations that may be falling through. I believe that we should provide support to those new companies.
Okay, so you do support our national health care then?
Of course, we have one of the best healthcare programs in the world, in my opinion, and I think that we still benefit by providing less price, like lower price prescriptions, eye care, dental care to all those in need, because we need to have universal healthcare for everyone in Canada.
Okay, so you are a supporter of a welfare state then?
I support welfare programs. I feel like we need to have a country that supports all aspects of our population. Those in the lower class, if they are in need of help, they should be provided that help. So if, for example, families that are single parented or of low income, we have a child care benefit so that they receive money every month and they pay less taxes, or tax free in that case. We also provide good pension plans for the seniors so that we don't have a poor senior population, so we provide tax cuts to those and with their pensions.
Okay, so how do you propose to do all of this?
Well, I like to say that we need to provide and help those by taking away from those who don't actually need it. So basically, the conservatives that were ahead of me, they basically taxed everyone else, except for that, and they benefited the wealthy. I think that we should benefit the middle class because that's the backbone of our country. So we're going to tax the upper class a little bit more because they can give a little bit more, and tax less of the lower class because they can't give a little bit more.
Wow, that's very dignified of you. It's nice meeting you.
Well, it was nice meeting you too.
Hi there. there,
Hello.
Bachelor number 2.
Hello,
I'm
Natalie.
Rachel Notley. Oh,
Nice to meet you.
you. So I was just wondering, what are your views on taxation?
I believe the working people, people with income, should pay flat rate taxes, which supports in the future, in the good or bad days, which will support people in struggle. So it'll create a large safety net. That's what the taxes are for.
So you
Flat rate
support welfare then?
I definitely support welfare. With my policies and plans, the welfare such as child benefits, sickness, unemployment. In cases of unemployment, my large safety net will support people. So I'll go off by example here. You and I, everyone drinks water. The poor, without my policies, drinks water from the well. But the rich drinks it from a golden cup. With my flat rate taxes and welfare nets, everyone drinks from a glass, equalizing everyone.
Okay, so since you're so equal, how do you feel about healthcare?
Not to be humble, I founded National Health Service. I was one of the first ones to bring it to the world. You know Tommy Douglas? You probably know Tommy Douglas.
Oh, I was touched by Tommy.
You know how he says he's the founder of Medicare?
Mm-hmm.
Medicare. I am the founder of National Health Service. He's just copying me. He's not. He didn't really do anything. He just brought his policies to Canada. Yeah, Canada. He brought his policies to Canada, which is a colony of England.
So all of your policies are nationalized then?
Nearly all my policies are nationalized. However, the economy-wise, it's just 20% of Britain's economy. And that 20% is the largest industries. Steel, iron, and coal industries of England and Britain were nationalized. The railway was nationalized. So yes, I believe in nationalization.
Wow, well it's great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Great to meet you too.
Hi there, Bachelor number 3. I'm Rachel Notley. It's
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tommy Douglas.
So, I hear you were the greatest Canadian.
Yeah, I think I was named the greatest Canadian because I introduced Medicare to Canada, so a lot of people now could live healthier, longer, and better lives without having to worry about going into an economic crisis just in case they ever get sick or they get injured.
So you believe in a welfare state then?
No, I do not believe in a welfare state necessarily. However, I do believe in welfare programs for the people who need them. For example, rural communities don't have the proper cell phone coverage, radio coverage, so I introduced CBC radio. They cannot travel as frequently to the city, back, and within their community, and that's why I introduced public transport services.
What are your views on taxation, Tommy?
I do think that taxes need to go up a little bit in order to fund my suggested programs, but not to a great extent. Because when I was the Premier of Saskatchewan, I decreased the debt from 218 million in 1944 to just under 70 million in 1949. And by 1953, I had eliminated it without raising too many taxes.
Awesome. I really agreed with what you were saying.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Peace out.
Hi there, Bachelor number 4. I'm Rachel Notley.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
So, what are your views on taxation?
Well, I am of the philosophy that we should increase taxes on the rich, and as I feel like they could pay for more welfare programs such as employment insurance, such as old age pensions and food stamps, and at the end of the day, I feel like this benefits the whole entire nation.
Okay. So you believe in a welfare state and perhaps labor unions?
I would say I would prefer a welfare state to a certain extent with a little bit of capitalism incorporated in there. I do feel like we should pay for more social programs such as employment insurance, old age pensions, and food stamps. And at the end of the day, I think everyone benefits from them.
Okay, so do you believe in perhaps a public healthcare system?
Yes, I would say that I would very much support a public health care. You know what, Notley? I actually got polio in my early 20s. It left me paralyzed from the waist down. And I feel like no one should have to go through pain and suffering from not having proper health insurance. And I feel like in general, the nation would benefit as a whole. Yes.
Okay. So what are your views on nationalization?
You know what, Ollie? The first thing that I would do as factory worker is join the labor union. I'm in huge support of those. I feel like when governments put money into labor unions, at the end of the day, it benefits all of the workers, and in general, companies are much better off, and as a whole, our economy thrives.
Awesome. Thanks so much. It was great meeting you. Hi there, Bachelor number 5. I'm Rachel Notley.
Bernie Sanders, pleasure.
So I was just wondering, what are your viewpoints on public health care?
Public health care. Well, we live in one of the richest states or countries in the world, and we can't even provide health care to a majority of our population. Healthcare should be a right and not a privilege, and with so many people unable to afford healthcare, I think it's blasphemous that it's so privatized and that we don't have any programs in check to allow for public healthcare.
So you do believe in a welfare state then?
I do believe in a welfare state, and I believe that people should have a greater social security. For example, over half the people between the ages of 55 to 64 don't have any retirement savings, which means they have no social security if something happens and they are unable to work. Right now, people who make $1 billion pay the exact same amount of money as someone who makes just over $100,000. And in my opinion, I think that we should cut the restrictions on the taxation so that the person who makes $1 billion pays more money, and we can increase our social security programs and therefore allow for more safety net for the middle to working class.
Okay, so you believe in high taxes then?
Yes, I believe that we should tax those greedy people on Wall Street and those big businesses because they're raking in so much money. Half the time is using tax loopholes on offshore accounts, and that's ridiculous.
Okay, so are you in favor of self-reliance or?
I believe a more collective economy and society, and that we should rely on each other as Americans.
With the government to fall back on, of course.
Of course.
Wow. I really identify with that as well. Thank you. I really felt the burn.
Thank you.
Hi there, Bachelor number 6. I'm Rachel Notley.
Hi, I'm Adam Smith. I'm the father of capitalism and the author of The Wealth of Nations.
What is this Wealth of Nations you speak of?
The Wealth of Nations is the book that I wrote in 1776, and its main points are the division of labor, productivity within a society, a free market economy, and the invisible hand theory.
What is this invisible hand you speak of?
The invisible hand theory goes along with the idea of self-regulation. So in an economy, if there is limited government intervention, there is more economic freedom for individuals, and that can still regulate a society normally.
So, how do you feel about taxation then?
For taxation in an economy, I think that there should be a flat tax. So the rich, the poor, the middle class, they should all be taxed the same amount.
How will that support the welfare then?
I don't think that there actually should be any welfare programs or a social safety net within a society, because I think that everybody in a society should be self-reliant. Because with self-reliance, they don't have to fall back on a government. Everybody can just pursue their own needs, and while they're doing that, they can still benefit society.
No welfare, no health care.
Oh, no, I agree with healthcare, but I think that it should be privatized along with every other corporation, business, or service within a society. Because I believe that all the government does is corrupts an economy, so I just think that there should be limited government intervention or like a laissez-faire capitalist society.
Laissez-faire, okay. Well, isn't that just wonderful? Speaking of your invisible hand theory, it was really nice to meet you. Adam Smith.
Nice to meet you.
Now it's time for the Maple Leaf ceremony.